there for now. Maybe down the road. We shall see. N2LJO.
Yeah, maybe I'll buy it from you down the road.
Well, maybe. Who's that?
One QAR, running a Kenmore 440, and an old power cube to a magnetic loop.
Oh, Ted, how are you? Belated Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and all that stuff. 440. Sounds good. There's a bunch of guys in here. A couple of guys just signed to have dinner. But there's still some people here.
I'm listening to the discussion. You know, I got a 703 and like the 705. Those are nice little rigs because they can drain no juice and you can monitor while, you know, they can, in other words, enjoy the entertainment without busting your battery. And then when these little LD MOS amplifiers mature, you can take that 2 watts of drive or 3 watts of drive and baba bing, baba boom, the QRO.
Contact, please.
I'll take care of it.
Got a copy, but I've got a soldering iron in one hand and a condenser in the other. Yeah, that's who we are, 73. What's up to 1700?
I got it for 750 about almost a year ago. I got a special offer over.
Oh, is that $1,700?
No, the radio is an Icom 7300, and I got it for 750. I just checked that you guys are talking about 750.
I didn't give up that much for it.
In other words, the 7300s are now up to $1,700. Holy chihuahua.
Nah, man, this was $1,100 from DX Engineering with a $100 rebate included. Yeah, it ends on the 31st. So it's basically $300 off. Yeah.
Hello there. How's this thing working? I found an error in the design of something today, and the light bulb went off in my head. I said, let me fix that, and I did. So, seems to have eliminated a lot of my RF problems. modulation monitor hooked up. But yeah, I was looking at my link coupled tuner, the one that I brought from my house. Now I had built one off the top of my head. Oh God, about a year or two ago for this place, and when I moved everything down here, I took the one from my house and I hooked it up, and then after that, I was getting all kinds of RF problems. I'm like, what the hell's going on? So I'm looking at the thing, I'm going, this isn't right. The input link is just floating. One half of it is just floating. So even though it would tune up, things just weren't right. So I took the thing off the shelf and I unhooked everything and looked at the pictures of the one that I had built, you know, just off the top of my head, and I'm going, no wonder why. So put it all back together, and seems to tune differently and a lot less RF on the field strength meter, so it should be better. You know, the funny thing is, Perry, is that, well, this tuner that I have here now was at my house. I had used it probably 14 years with the Class E rig at my house. Never had a problem. And I noticed that, like I said, that one side of the input coil was just floating. I'm going, how the hell did that even work?
There we go. Now I got my monitor on. That's weird stuff, man. What was I gonna say? I wanted to build a link couple tuner just for the hell of it.
Well, yours is good too. Nothing wrong with that. The L tuner that you got, I think it's pretty beefy.
It's just so big. It works so goddamn good though. I want to make another one. Just if I could find a pair of roller inductors. There's this guy online. He like machines them. They're really nice, man. They're all like made out of this real thick. I guess it's like Lexan, but I don't know, some kind of polycarbonate. And he machines them all by hand. Some guy over in Sweden, man. They're really nice.
Oh, my link coupled tuner is not tiny. It's a 4-inch PVC. It's probably 2.5 feet wide by about 14 inches deep. It's got a big vacuum variable, a 4-ganger on the input loop. Whoops. And then the big coil, and then the big clip leads that come and clip to it. So it's probably about the same size as yours.
Oh, okay. Well, if I measured this thing, it's got to be 3 feet long. Probably 1.5 feet wide. I don't know. Big. Works great, though. I stole Billy's idea. Honest to God, I copied his tuner off his QRZ page. Well, for the inductors anyway, that's what I did. For how many turns of the inductor. And I can't remember how I got the value of the cap. I think my dad told me the value of the cap or a way to figure it out. So, but no, man, it works great. I've had a lot of luck with it, and gets me on every band, or every band that I want to go on.
Hey, I saw your little contraption that you made with the that big loop. How's that thing working out for you?
Thing's a piece of crap.
I was going to say, couldn't you use very thin wire and just keep going around and around? Because I noticed you use look like 12 or 14 gauge wire. You could probably do like 22 or 24 gauge and just loop around there, because it's just for receive, right?
Yeah, well, I'm going to try a vertical, to be honest with you, a 20-meter vertical. I've heard a couple people using those for like a noise sensing antenna for this diversity, and I'm using the MFJ phasing box, but I used 120 feet of wire, and 120 small, I guess 18 gauge is what I used. 120 feet of 18 gauge, and I was reading a couple articles online about them, these receiving loops that guys made for the broadcast band, and all, and so I went pretty much what these people did. I mean, it works. Like, it'll receive stations, and I can null out stations, and so it's working. But signal to noise ratio is not that great. You got to really like hone it in. I heard they're like real finicky. Bob, W2ENY is built a. He said, I guess he's built a couple of them, real big ones.
Well, does the Anand do the diversity with the noise canceling?
Oh yeah, I have to get the noise, the offending interference on that noise antenna is the key, obviously, and getting it, pretty loud on there, or just about as loud or louder than than I have it on my main antenna. But where I think it's coming from is so close to my antenna. It's like 60 or 70 feet from my antenna. The guy's house is 2 doors down, and where I live in they're like row homes, so it's hard to get a lot of signal on the sense antenna compared to my main antenna. Hey, Will.
Hello, Perry. How are you? And happy holidays.
Happy holidays, man. Been a long time.
You got that right. I've been listening for the last couple of minutes, and I just took the opportunity to slide up and tune up and come back down. So, anyways, just thought I'd wave a friendly hand. It's been a while since I've been on, but the times that I get to come home from my job, 3 hours west of here, are the times that I have to get on the radio and chat. So, anyways, hope you've been doing well, man. Anyways, I'm not going to hijack the conversation. I just thought I would plant my butt here for a few minutes.
Well, good to hear you, man. I hope you had a good Christmas. You're getting out really well down here, dude. You're about 15 over S9. Making it over all this local noise I have, so you're doing good, man. Great to hear you. I hope your holiday was good and all that fun stuff, and you got everything you wanted. I got an FT70 HT my dad bought me for Christmas, and a diamond mobile antenna, 2-meter 440 mobile antenna, and mag mount for my car. So that was awfully nice of him. So a little ham radio Christmas for me. But yeah, man, a whole bunch of us in here. Now George was in here, Blano, oh gosh, a whole bunch of others, Jim, KM4XG. So let me get out of the middle road, and I'm going to sit back on the quiet side for a little bit. So great to hear you, Will, and Blaine, and everybody. And somebody else go ahead and pick it up. W3MMR.
N2MIN.
And then,
hello, Perry.
hey, Daryl. Hey, Art.
Have a good evening, Perry. Sounds good. We will be listening here. VA3JWO, Will in Madoc, Ontario.
Great to hear you, Will, as always, man.
KM4XG, copy in the mail.
Okay, Perry, we did what you said, and we'll leave it right here.
There you go. Sounding good, man. Sounded real good.
Okay, appreciate it.
Daryl always sounds good.
He's on his gates.
And if Daryl doesn't sound good, within like a day or two, he sounds good. So he's got that magic screwdriver.
The golden screwdriver.
Yeah, the one that's made of gold.
Yes. Man, all these people, nobody's talking. Hey, Shane.
I'll give you a signal report, Terry. You're 20 over 9. So there you go.
There you are too. How about that? They're twins.
Yep. 3 mines think alike. Just running 100 watts tonight. That's all. Just the Valiant.
Well, the El Valiente sounds good, man. I always love the sound of your Valiant. Yeah, man. You're 20 over. Well, 20, I guess. It went a little past, so you're probably like 21 over S9.
Yeah, the old Valiente. Periodically, I get to fire this thing up, but not often. Got a bit of a bark to it. Listening to you on the SDR receiver. SDR Play RSP DX. And the 160-meter delta loop fed with 450 ohm ladder line.
Nice, man. Yeah, I 125 feet of wire in the air with 600 ohm open wire feeder. Works good, man. That's I'm glad I put up an open wire fed antenna. I had a coax, 80 meter dipole, and G5 RV for the upper bands, but this thing gets me on everywhere and seems to work decently everywhere as well, and it really kicks ass here.
Yeah, this one's been really awesome. I've had really good luck with this. This is the antenna I got started on AM with, and it's got 550 feet of wire just in a kind of a half-assed, what do you call it? I don't know, I'm going to use very poor vocabulary. Non-equilateral triangle. This is not a perfect triangular delta loop. This is a non-equilateral, what do they call that? Not obtuse, not acute. There's a mathematical term that I learned in high school that I've obviously forgotten. But anyhow, it is just, you know what, whatever trees come available are the trees that I use as my supports.
I'm lucky, man. I have the way my property's shaped, my house is all the way over to the right side of the property. And then I have my yard is to the side over to the left. And I have a cedar tree that's right in the middle next to the house, like halfway down the house, or like, all the way down at the back of the house. And then, and then there's the same amount of distance behind and pretty much to the left. It's pretty much square, okay? And then, so that, my lot's big enough just to fit this antenna, corner to corner, and have the apex up about 60 or 70 feet. So I got lucky. I can't fit anything bigger than this here, that's for sure. WZ8J.
Yeah, good evening to WZ8J. I think that is what I heard. And yeah, that's perfect, Barry. An antenna that's cut to fit. Just perfect for your property size. Let's let WZ8J in. This is VA3JWO. Name is Will in Madoc, Ontario, with company.
Yes. Hello, young Will. Good evening. Haven't heard you on in a long time. This is Kevin down near Cleveland, WZ8J. We've worked before. Hold on. That's the water's not looking pretty. There we go. And you're sounding good down here below the lake. And good evening to you, Perry. You're sounding good, as you always do. You already knew that. So just wanted to say hello, since I haven't heard young Will in there lately, and hope you're both doing well. So back to you, Will. VA3JWO from Whiskey Zanzibar 8 Japan.
Hey, Kevin. Ha! I hope you've had a good holiday, man. Yeah, good stuff. I'm sorry. It was the voice that was familiar, not the call sign. But of course, I'm challenged when it comes to remembering call signs. I remember names, and I remember what the person looks like. You look good from here, I promise you. You're like at least a 10 or 15 over 9. But that's fantastic. Good stuff. Well, I'm not home very often. I don't live in Madoc any longer. I live in the city of Barrie, Ontario, and Barrie, Ontario is about 3 hours west of here. I don't live at my parents' place any longer. I took a job as a Motorola service technician as 3/4 of my, about 2/3 of my hobby is revolves around Motorola two-way commercial communications and commercial radios and stuff like that. So I found myself a niche in a Motorola shop doing install and repair for fire departments and local police departments and stuff like that. So I'm having a real blast doing that. You know, imagine that, getting paid an hourly wage to play radio. I couldn't find a better job if I tried around this area here. Anyways, hopefully I can find myself some experience to put on a resume and eventually find myself moving back home to where I come from, here in Madoc. But for the time being, I visit my parents most weekends, except a few, and during the Christmas break. And now that it's winter time, I figured it was a good time to fire up the old Valiente again. So, anyways, back to you, Kevin, and pass it around. That's the story here. That's why I haven't been around much. Otherwise, I am in good health for a 27-year-old VA3JWO.
Yeah, okay, Will. You know, it's always nice to hear you in there. Yeah, very good on the job. It's always great to do something you really enjoy and make it into work. It doesn't seem like work then. Apparently you've found that. I like what I do. I could say I love it, but I'd be lying. Hey, Perry, is it just you three, or are there others in here? Anyway, good evening, WCHA.
There's a bunch in here. There was. George N2LJO was lurking. Phil signed. Billy signed right before I got on. Daryl was in there. Man, there's a whole bunch of them in there, man. You're coming in good, Kev. Real good. And, Will, you hit about 30 over that time, buddy. So the last shop's working great. Yeah, a whole bunch of us in here, man. So somebody else grab it. I'm gonna sit back, grab another bottle of Deer Park 100% natural spring water. Ice cold from the ice chest, the refrigerator. Sit back down in the operating chair. I'm on the SDR this evening. My Ranger's still messed up. I gotta replace the dial cord. I might do that before I go to bed, or try to. If I can keep my eyes open, replace the dial cord of my SX99 and get that back on the air too. So, somebody else go ahead and grab it, pick it up, or Kevin and Will continue on. I'll be right back. W3MMR.
Good evening. Just before you go, Perry, I was going to ask you about that Ranger. How are you making out with your Ranger? And mine is out of commission. It's sitting in a pile over in the corner. So the rig of the year has been the Valiant for me. Anyhow, I heard another gentleman say good evening to me. Good evening. This is VA3JWO. Will here in Madoc, Ontario.
Yours and Terry's are both down for the count. Now see if you remember the name or if I got to tell you who I am.
I'm pretty sure that's Charlie. Is that Charlie?
Geez, 9 months or something like that since I talked to you. Yeah, we did have a piece of equipment.
Come down, Charlie.
In the last winter, my 811 amplifier. The tubes finally got tired of me beating on them, I guess. And we're running a Yaesu FL20 wire now. Yeah, right. A sweepy tube on 80 meters. Anyway, good evening to you. I hope you had a nice holiday. I guess there's a bunch of people in here, so I won't tie it up, but I heard your voice and I had to come back to you. I thought I heard you one night, and then I realized it wasn't your car. It was another one from up there on the other side of the border. And no, that's not Will. That's not his call. And he wasn't too strong here either, so I didn't even bother calling on him. Anyway, I'll let you jump around and grab the rest of these guys, and we'll catch you another time. N1XZW.
73, Charlie.
Charlie, that sounds good. Oh boy, it's good to hear your voice. I recognized your voice, and it's the first thing I thought of was, oh no, I do know who this person is. Anyways, because he knows who I am. Of course, it would be quite embarrassing if I wasn't able to recite at least his full name. I don't even have to worry about his last name. So there you go, Charlie. Well, good to hear you. Thanks a lot for the kind words. And yeah, you sound great tonight. You started out about an S5 or an S6, and then you came right up to about a 10/9. So we have some up and down here in Madoc, Ontario. And I hope life has been treating you well, and I hope your holidays have been good. Mine have been fantastic. They've been full of family, happiness, and I really cannot ask for a better Christmas. This is kosher with last year's Christmas as well. And it looks like this 180-pound beast beside me is working good for sitting around for a couple of months, sometimes several weeks at a time. So anyways, let me not hog it, Charlie. I will pass it around. Take it, Kevin. WZ8J. Kevin, I totally forgot. I think you and I are both redheads. Kevin, go ahead.
So am I. I'm a redhead.
No, not me. That's awesome.
Yeah, I'm a redhead. You might be thinking of me. I got a red hair and a big old red beard.
No soul, man. No soul.
Nope.
Oh.
That's right. I forgot Art was in there too. N2MIN.
I'll be back in a bit. Gonna hook up the mod monitor. N1GTU.
Yeah, hey Artie, good hearing you, man. Happy holidays to you, buddy. And Happy New Year coming up, man. It's coming up quick. Yeah, I knew something was different there. But yeah, I hear you. I'm glad I can hear you tonight.
Yeah, where's Q-tip? You know what a Q-tip is?
No, what's a Q-tip? That's people used to call me that when I used to buzz my hair as a kid, and it used to grow back and would stick out straight until it got like a certain length. But no, what's a Q-tip?
Right here.
Oh yeah.
What's left of it anyway?
Yeah, I hear you, buddy. I checked out the FTDX 101 today. I wonder, I've never heard one on AM. I know they probably can't sound too good, but man, if you could get that radio to sound good on AM, that would, I wouldn't mind having one of those radios. That thing is nice.
What radio?
The new Yaesu FTDX 101 MP. Well, it wasn't the MP. It wasn't the 200-watt model, but the new 101 from Yaesu. I was at HRO today in Delaware and checked it out.
Nice. Okay.
Anyway, yeah, I'm a redhead, Will.
Yeah, that's great. Part of the rebellion, part of the revolution.
Yeah, man.
So anyways, I got messing around with my Johnson Ranger last winter, and I messed around with it too much, and I got into some uncharted territory, and unfortunately, I was messing around with it. One problem after another crept up, and my dial third gear got broken on me, so I didn't have another parts rig. So it became a parts rig for another little doohickey here and there. The only one in service currently is the Johnson Valiant, and the SDR receiver. But I'm working on I'm back to work on the Class E project. I've got the pallet laid out on the table, and all I have to do is just assemble it and test it, and then I can look into power supply, which I have, and I just have to hook it up. It's digital converter phase. You know what? I'll do things one at a time, and I at my own pace. especially when work is number one and radio is number two. But we're doing all right here. I seem to be able to keep busy anyhow after work.
Yeah, real good, man. Well, look, I'm going to go make something to eat. I'm going to stand by here. I feel like I've kind of been hogging it, man, so I want some other guys to get in there. So I'm going to go make some food. You guys, if somebody else jump in, feel free. You use the airwaves, but I'm a happy camper that whatever it is seems to be shut off right now, so if you guys could all say a prayer. Anyway, great hearing you, Will, man. If I don't hear you before the new year, Merry Christmas to you, pal. Great catching up as always, and hope to hear you again real soon. And Kevin and the rest, Art, Charlie, and Charlie, I'll probably hear you in the morning. But I wasn't on this morning because everything, it was just too crappy. I didn't feel like using WebSDR, so I didn't get on this morning. And I was also trying to track down the noise too. But we'll probably catch you in the morning there, Charlie. Anyway, 7-3, guys. We'll be listening now for a while. W3MMR.
73, Perry. And 2MIN.
73 there, Perry. All the best to you, brother. Yes, red-headed brother of the beard. Talk to you later. I've been staged upstairs to go visit my parents for a car time. So I'm going to go up and do that, hang out with my parents and have a card game and have some supper with them. Mom's cooking up a salmon fillet tonight. I'm blessed to have a nice home-cooked meal this week, every night of the week. So I got to take it while I can. So I'm going to say 7-3 and sign with each one of you, and all the best from my room station to yours. And take good care, Charlie in the background, and Kevin as well, and to all else, including Perry. This is VA3JWO, Will in Madoff, Ontario. I may be back later.
73's Kevin and Art and Will and everyone else. W3MMR. Whoa, that didn't sound good. See you, Art. You got something going on there. I'll catch you guys later. W3MMR.
Alright, sorry. We're on the Viking 2 now. Hopefully, this sounds better.
Yeah, you got something coming in there with your audio, though. It's my radio alarm going. I was wondering, I thought like something was blowing up. See ya.
Alright, nothing's blowing up here. I don't know.
Hey, is Charlie still in here?
I is here.
Hey, old man, how you doing? How was your Christmas?
It was nice and quiet and uneventful, just
Yeah, good for you. Well, I took the birds over to my mom. She loved them.
Oh, yeah? Oh, God. Who's going to clean up after the birds?
No, I think she's cool. I think she's going to be all right, you know. I mean, it's relatively simple and not like chasing a puppy around. So I think she's going to be okay.
Yeah, we had birds here once, years and years and years ago, and they tended to spit
I missed that last part. They tended to what?
Yeah, I said they tended to spit their seeds all over the room.
Oh, yeah. Well, the cage we got is pretty nice. I mean, you know, it's got some high-tech, modern, technical advances in bird cagery, and that includes a catch-all, you know, kind of a rim that goes around it. It's supposed to, you know, keep all that stuff off the floor, but I don't know how effective it's going to be, especially if they're spitting seeds. But these little guys are pretty cute. You know, they're very friendly, and they're very friendly with each other too. So we might have some baby parakeets at some point.
Yeah, that'd be cute. Yeah, we have lovebirds, and I have no clue why they call them lovebirds. They would bite your ears when they land on your shoulder. They would fight with each other. One of them finally beat the other one to death. I can't figure out why they call them lovebirds.
Man, I got no idea. I had parakeets before, but that's the only bird I've ever had. I was really tempted to get some finches. They had a bunch of finches in the PetSmart, and man, they were cute, and they were flying around. You know, they're small enough that they could actually fly around inside the cagery.
Hey, Charlie, we're on 73. Come on down.
Oh, is that why everybody sounds funny? Hang on. Okay. Yeah, we'll join everybody. How's that?
Ooh la la. So what do you think of that ring here? How's it sound, Charlie?
Sounds different now that I'm on the same frequency with you. When I was up there, you sounded a little funny. And I was saying to myself, gee, he sounds funny. Is that the new 7300, Jim?
Roger, Dodger, courtesy of Santa Claus himself.
Yeah, very good. Sounds good. Sounds good. Sounds even better now that I'm on 73.
Yeah, that may help a little bit.
You know what it is? I was talking on 75 before I went up to supper. And, you know, I could hear everybody just fine when I came downstairs, and I didn't bother zero beating, so I didn't even realize that you guys had moved down. Oh well, my bad.
You are loud, Charlie. Real loud.
You think so? Oh, it's working then. Yeah, 150 watts. And of course a D104 into the Ranger. That never hurts.
Yeah, you must have turned that D104 up a little bit. But it sounds marvelous.
Actually, Darryl, it's not a preamplified one. It's a standard G stand with a 104 head. But I do have the Ranger audio level on, and I do see the audio meter going almost to the end when I talk. So yeah, I guess I'm pushing a little audio.
Well, sounds good, Charlie. Don't touch it. Leave it alone. Leave it well enough alone, and it will work on and on. All right, I'll be on the side. I'm going to go get me a drink and see what's going on. This is Kilo Delta 2 Alpha Foxtrot Lemur on the Gates BC 1T transmitter.
Yeah, it sounds like you finally got your RF problem worked out. Sounding good there, Darryl.
We narrowed it down and we got it all out. Just hope they don't sneak back in. Every day we learning something different. Every day is an improvement, Charlie. So we almost there.
Hey, if I put my feet up on the front of this big speaker, you can give me a massage.
No.
Well, the way the way this thing is rumbling with that deep audio, all I have to do is put my feet up on it, I get a massage.
Okay then, all right. Charlie, take care. Sounding good, my friend.
Man, it sounds like he's got that thing about dialed in, doesn't he?
Oh yeah, it sounds sweet now. Every day when he came in, he sounded a little better than the day before, but he was having a hell of a time working an RF problem out of the audio. But he's got it now.
Well, he's been working on it for a while. And It's definitely starting to pay off. Man, I'll tell you what, he's blowing me away down here. Big audio, just like you said. I don't have the big speakers hooked up right now because I had to change everything around in the shack. Just to move one radio out and move another one in. But, yeah, when he comes back, I'm going to turn on the big speakers.
I got a 2-foot speaker box with 2 meters speakers in it, so that it already gives a lot of bass. When you get somebody with audio like his, it really gives the bass.
Now, wait a minute now. Y'all going to be making me replacing all of your speakers now. Wait a minute now. I can't be buying all y'all speakers now.
Old man.
Well, I've been waiting on this gigs for a while, and it finally came home. So we every day working on it. But we had some issues, but we kind of got them straightened out now. I believe we got the RF out, and everything is okay.
Yeah, sounds pretty fabulous. Is that the one that somebody was giving away on AM phone?
No. Somebody was giving our gigs away? Wow. No. This one, I had to rescue this one.
Oh, well, very good. Did you build the RF, or do the RF conversion on it to put it on a 75 meters?
Well, it's been highly modified by Robert. I have 75, 160, 40 in it. So I can go 160, 80, 75, and 40. She's highly modified.
Oh, wow. Man, that would be big on 40. Well, congratulations. It sounds wonderful. It sounds like you're making a lot of progress there. Definitely better than the first time you did it. It wasn't bad then. So, congrats, old man. And I'm sure it's going to take a permanent place in your shack because those things are going to be tough to move. KD2 AFL WZAJ.
Okay, my friend. Static crash will start coming up now. All right. We'll sit back a little bit and see what's going on. I think I'll go get me some iced tea here. So 73, and we'll be back. This is Kilo Delta 2 Alpha Foxtrot Lima on the Gates BC 1T transmitter.
Hey, Darrell, I never got around to asking you, did it take the place of the dining room table or the hutch?
Man, you sound great on the big speakers, Darrell. Holy smokes, Cam 4XG.
I sound good on the big speakers. I hope I didn't break them. No, Charlie, this is in the dining room. She kicked me out of the living room, kicked the other transmitter out. She said, oh, everything's got to go to the back. So everything's back here.
Uh-oh.
I just wasn't sure, you know, the way you were talking that it was going to go in the dining room, and was saying that we either going to have to throw out the dining room table or the hutch. It's good to be able to walk around that radio so you can take panels off to work on it, but you could have just thrown the dining room table out.
That's the first thing that went. The dining room table is gone. It is gone.
Catch you later, Darrell. A lot of people in there.
Darrell, I thought I heard something weird going on with your signal there.
Say that again?
Yeah, you got some kind of distortion creeping in and loss of audio signal, almost like you had a bad microphone cable or something.
Yeah, that's probably that RF creeping up in there again. I probably have to put a little bit more power feeds in there.
Yeah, it was pretty severe that time, Darrell. It doesn't sound like RF getting in the circuit, Daryl. It sounds like a bad connection, lost connection somewhere, or loss of audio drive.
All right, we'll check it out.
Keeps getting worse too.
Yeah, you hearing that?
Oh yeah, he's all crunched up. Sounds something like something's being overdriven.
We spoke too soon. So something just went south, Darryl. I don't think it's the RF. It sounds more like something just went south.
Yeah, like the grid drive is too low or something. Could be something like that too. W2PHL digesting dinner.
Evening, Phil.
Hey, Charlie.
N1XZW. Yeah, he sounded really good when he came in those last couple of transmissions. The thing went south on him.
Yeah, I was in here a little while ago, right when he first broke in. It sounded amazing.
Yeah, he was doing good, and then something shit the bed all of a sudden.
As they say, back to the old drawing board.
I want to say hello to Jim out there. Congratulations on his wife.
When I first heard the first couple of times it didn't sound right, I thought it was somebody keying with him. You know, when there's another carrier in there, you get some distortion. But it seemed like the more he talked, the worse it got. That last transmission was almost uncopyable.
Yeah, I'm not a tube transmitter guy by a long shot, but my little Ranger, if the grid drive is a little low, it's exactly how it sounds.
Yep. Anyway, I don't know if that was Timmy that I heard in there with the yellowy comment or one of his imitators.
No, that was me. WTHA. You sound yellowy.
All right, okay. You know, some of you guys have it down so good that it's really hard to tell.
That's right, you're getting good at that, man.
I was yellowified.
Tim will never be a silent key. Tim will live on forever.
Hey, you're right. Until the last of us is gone, there'll be somebody to make that comment.
Just put my head in a jar of formaldehyde and I'll keep tubes flowing. The tubes.
It's tough to laugh when you've got post-nasal drip. I'm coughing my head off here.
Have you got a mask over your microphone?
Oh, I'm double masked, and I have a hotline to Dr. Fauci. He gives me all the advice that I need.
Oh, you poor man.
Of course, it changes from day to day, but I got that hotline, so it's important.
Here they're going to make him the head of the FCC.
Almost going to go into 2 years with yes. And I'm yet to buy a mask. I figured it was good enough for the cowboys, just good enough for me. I wear a bandana around my neck and I just pull it up over my face if I have to go in the store.
Well, hopefully it doesn't get worse than that, but this last round, I tell you, if it wasn't for everybody paying attention to it. I don't think anybody. We'd just be on the radio saying, "Oh, man, I got a cold right before Christmas, and it really sucked," and that would have been it. So hopefully people will start feeling better soon.
Organic corn sells commercials.
It sells an awful lot of things. They got COVID cough drops coming out, and COVID vitamins, and you name it.
I take my COVID vitamins every morning. I have my glass of orange juice and maybe a clementine.
Oh, my darling.
That's right. Oh, my darling. I got a kick out of this cat because there is a brand called Darling Clementines.
Smart marketing.
Yeah, they come in a wooden crate.
I tell you what, if I hear anybody say trust the science again, I think I'm going to have a brain hemorrhage through my nose, because it's pretty clear that, the dadgum vaccines aren't working, and the masks aren't working, and the lockdowns aren't working. I mean, I wonder what kind of clowns they got for scientists in the CDC in the White House.
With science.
Well, I've said it before and I'll say it again. If they could make a reliable vaccination for a virus, why do we all still suffer from the common cold every year? There is no such vaccination. They're doing something, it's making a difference to a degree, but, well, 2 people in my nearby community have passed away in the last month that were fully vaccinated, and they died of COVID.
Well, you have to still be careful, because if you get sick, you got to know yourself, because I know when I get sick, I get bronchitis super easily. I've had pneumonia in the past, and let me tell you, you don't want that. I had pneumonia when I was in my early 40s, and I felt like I was 100 years old. It took me 2 weeks before I could even make it up the stairs. So you don't want that. But what happens is you can't let yourself go. You got to be on top of it. If you start feeling sick, you got to be gargling with antiseptic and taking some aspirins and making sure you're getting some exercise in. Just don't sit around and veg out. All that good stuff like Mom and Grandma used to tell you to do. It's important.
Well, almost 4 weeks ago, I got whacked with a cold that came out of nowhere. I mean, one of the worst colds I ever had. I mean, my head and my lungs just filled right up in hours. I felt good in the morning, I felt good in the afternoon, and then all of a sudden, I just went down. And I did just that. Brushed my teeth and rinsed my mouth with hydrogen peroxide. I drank a double shot of orange juice, and I took 2 Alka-Seltzer cold and flu, thinking I'd be able to clear my sinuses enough to breathe so I could go to sleep. And I went to bed. I suffered for maybe 2-3 days, and then it started to lighten up. Now I just got a little cough. And that's not unusual for me. If I catch a cold at this time of the year, I usually have a cough and the sniffles all winter.
W2PHL, same for me. That's what I'm not looking forward to coughing for the next 2 weeks, bro. What are we going to do? So did you get a test? Because that certainly sounds like Omicron.
Oh, I totally lost my sense of taste. I was sitting down to supper Saturday night, and I said to my wife, is this a different brand of beans? Because I was having hot dogs and beans. She goes, no, those are the same hot dogs from the same package. And it's just another can of the same beans you had last week. Because that's my Saturday evening meal. Usually I'll have hot dogs and beans. I said, well, they got no taste. And it was right after that, my head completely congested, and by the time I went to bed, I couldn't breathe without feeling shit gurgling around in my lungs. So I got back up, I did the Alka-Seltzer routine. I stayed up for about an hour till I was able to blow my sinuses out so I could breathe through my nose again. And then I went to bed and I slept good. After a couple of nights of going to bed a little earlier and getting a good night's sleep and staying on the Alka-Seltzer plus cold and flu so that so I could breathe decent, it started to go away by itself.
I don't think you had COVID. I guess you got the new cure there, Alka-Seltzer.
There you go. Alka-Seltzer plus cold and flu and orange juice. And brush your teeth and wash your mouth with hydrogen peroxide and you'll be all right.
You know, there's a lot of like these little things. Aspirin, there's a research study that shows aspirin cuts your COVID symptoms in half. And then there's another one, Benadryl, that just came out, which might be in that stuff you're taking. I take Sudafed usually when I get a head cold. That drives me out real good. I was gargling with Jack Daniels last week, just to, because it, you know, you got a really bad sore throat, like when you gargle and it just burns like somebody's taking a soldering iron to the back of your throat. So I do like salt water, and then after a little while I do whatever, like alcohol, like that Jack Daniels has been sitting around for years, so I wouldn't really want to drink it, but I used it to gargle, and man, did it hurt. But I think it was doing good.
You know, it's weird. My son had something a couple weeks ago, and I thought, well, here's the big test. I'm either going to get it and get real sick, or I'm not going to get it at all. And I didn't get it. It's really strange, you know, but I think he had Omicron. Now, he's been double vaxxed, and it seems to me from what I'm hearing that the people who are vaxxed are more susceptible to Omicron than if they hadn't been vaxxed at all. And people who have had COVID in the past, like me, I had it 2 years ago, I didn't get it. I mean, I was in close contact with him before he got sick and during, you know, and everything, and I didn't get it.
Well, eventually that's the way it's got to go. Everybody's going to have to take a turn, and then it'll die out. But it certainly sounds that way. Jim, here in the city, I think everybody's got it. My daughter's triple, and she gave it to me, I'm pretty sure. I'm just double. The only reason I did double, the only reason I got it, because I had COVID in end of February of 2020. Of course, I didn't have a test for it because I didn't have tests, but I'm 100% sure I had it. I had the whole problem with the smell and everything. But I got the vaccine anyway because I thought, okay, we're going to be able to travel now and everything's going to, you know, work out. And, of course, that's not working out too good. But I'm real hesitant about getting a booster. It doesn't seem to make any sense at this point. Because, like you're saying, it's like people are getting it, even with the, like I said, my daughter tripled, and she got it. So there you go. It's not effective, and it's even the unvaccinated people that are getting COVID, they're not getting really sick either. So I can't see what the benefit is at this point now for the vaccine. Maybe earlier on there was an argument for it, especially if you were susceptible to, you know, you're in a bad way. Maybe you had some kind of comorbidity going on. But at this point, it doesn't seem to make any sense. So hopefully, you know, things are going to straighten themselves out pretty soon.
You know what I don't get that really bothers me is, you know, when you get a polio vaccine, then you don't need to go back for a polio booster. And if you don't get a mild case of polio, in other words, a mild, you know, tuberculosis shot, for example, doesn't give you protection from tuberculosis so that you only get a mild case of it. You just don't get it, you know, after a real vaccination. You know, measles, for example, you know, the measles shot. if you get the shot, you don't get measles. You don't get a breakthrough case. You don't get a breakthrough case of polio. You don't get a breakthrough case of tuberculosis. And they're saying that, well, if you take the jab and you do catch COVID, then the symptoms will be milder. And that's just horse shit, I'm sorry to say. King Mike 4 X-ray golf.
Well, I don't know if I told you this, Jim, but a high school teacher in Cranston, which is the next city over from where I live, died last week of COVID with all 3 shots. And a high school principal in Warwick, which is one town over from me to the side of me, died of COVID 4 weeks ago with all the shots. So, you'd have to be hard-pressed to prove to me that the shots are very effective. And the thing is, your drugs work on bacterial infections and diseases. Most viruses, they can't develop anything for them because they constantly mutate. And, like I said before, if they could successfully create a vaccine for a virus, we would all get it, and none of us would suffer from a common cold every year. It's just nonsense.
Well, with the vaccines, like you brought up, well, there's sterilizing vaccines and there's non-sterilizing vaccines. And the COVID one is a non-sterilizing vaccine, and I feel like they kind of lied to me. Because when I was reading about this in the beginning, that's the way they were selling it, like you're talking about, a measles vaccine, mumps, polio. You take it, and that's it. You develop an immunity, and what happens is if you do come across that virus, the polio, the measles, whatever, and that's in your body, your own immune system attacks it, kills it. It can't go anywhere. But with a non-sterilizing vaccine, and it's really good reading. You should look this stuff up, because don't take my word for it. I'm just a ham radio operator. And look this stuff up. Look up sterilizing versus non-sterilizing vaccines, and you'll see that this COVID vaccine is non-sterilizing. It brings up your immunity temporarily, but if you do contract COVID, you can pass it on. Unlike the other sterilizing vaccines where the virus comes to you and it dies, if COVID comes to you and you're vaccinated, that's why they wanted people to start wearing masks again after they were vaccinated. Because they didn't, I don't even know who knew what at the time, because it makes no sense. Because at first they're like, take the vaccine, this will be the end, you'll be done. But then there were plenty of people screaming that that's not the case, and now they turn out to be true. They turn out to be the ones that are correct about it, because in fact it's a non-sterilizing vaccine. And I think they knew right from the beginning, and they didn't let it on, because if you look at the COVID vaccination card, it's got extra lines on it. Like they knew already in the beginning that you're going to be taking boosters for this. They just didn't tell. They just didn't tell us.
Yeah. Let me see if I got it. Yeah, a couple of points here. I've got a daughter who is a medical professional on a COVID floor in an ICU, and she's telling me, yes, they are seeing a lot of cases right now, severe cases. So if you're in the ICU, you're severe. All the ones in her ICU right now are unvaccinated. So the vaccine does help. You don't have the severe symptoms in general that you would if you didn't get the vaccine. But you're right, there's variants out there, and the vaccines are not as effective against the new variants that show up versus the original strain. So that's why you have to get the boosters and everything, and they just lose their efficacy after a period of time. So they're not perfect, but I just want to make that point that they do help keep people out of the ICU. And I haven't gotten my booster yet, but I'll probably get in anyway. I don't see the harm in it. But all these, the CDC has wrecked their credibility because they oversold all this.
because they're trying to get people to take it. And when they oversell it, then they lose their credibility, and people doubt it. So, you know, they got only themselves to blame. WZAJ.
Well, it's still an unapproved, it's not fully approved yet. It's still an emergency use authorization. It still hasn't completed the necessary trials that any other typical drug of that type would have to go through. The FDA-approved shot is not available in America. Homer Laddie, who came up with that name, ought to be fired. It's an experimental mRNA. I hesitate to call it a vaccine. And, I don't know why anybody would take it unless it was an emergency.
Yep, I agree. I think the emergency is passed. I think WZAJ. I'm sorry, I don't know your name. My name is Phil. We call W2PHL. If we worked before, I apologize and sorry. I'm still a little foggy in the brain here, but you make a great point, and it is that there are vulnerable people that really do need to take that vaccine, and that's another annoying thing. It's like when you want to talk about this stuff, they immediately go to, you're an anti-vaxxer. That could be farther from the truth. I hate getting sick. I get my flu shot. I take vitamins. I stay away from crowds in the wintertime. You won't catch me in a movie theater during cold and flu season. You won't catch me in a museum during cold and flu season. No way. I've always been germ adverse, but you've got to make an informed decision, and you really shouldn't be misled as to what is what when it comes to things that you're going to put in your body. And you look at a TV commercial for whatever drug that's trying to sell you, and more than half of the commercial is dedicated to telling you all about contraindications, all about what can go wrong, what to look for. Hey, we've got this new suicide prevention drug, which may cause suicide. They let you know at least. And so there's all these disclaimers on a TV commercial for a regular FDA-approved drug. Now, you look at the COVID commercials that are put out by the state and the federal government, there's not one disclaimer on there. Basically, it's people walking around saying, gee, I'm so glad, I'm so smart, I took the COVID vaccine, and I shouldn't be afraid to take it. I mean, that's what our government, that's pure propaganda. When there's no, not telling you about the risks that you may face. So I have a real problem when a healthy young person is compelled to take a vaccine, that is not going to be dangerous to them. Statistically, it's not dangerous to them. Yeah, of course, there's always a 1 in a million, somebody's going to die. But it's not statistically prudent to take a vaccine if you're a young person. Makes no sense. Not for this vaccine. Polio, yeah, but not this. Even going back to the beginning, it made no sense for young people to take this vaccine. So, and we're and now it's like, if you even talk about it, it's like, whoa, it's verboten. You're the heretic. But at any rate, I'll give out my call sign now, so I keep that nasty emails. W2PHL.
How dare you question the ministry of truth? You're unpatriotic. WZAJ.
Yeah, you must be a racist.
Wow, and hello to Greta Thunberg, if that was Greta Thunberg out there.
People is compromising their body's own ability to deal with it. That's what I'm standing on, believing in my immune system and its capabilities. I believe that I had COVID in February last year because it was the sickest I had been in 20 years, and I had fever, chills, phlegm in my lungs, a sore throat, a congested head, And lack of taste, I had, before they came out and said all that about COVID, I had all those symptoms. I didn't even know what the symptoms with COVID were, because I had never heard of COVID-19 at that point. A month later, the shit hits the fan, you know? And it wouldn't surprise me a bit if I got it twice, because 2 weeks ago, again, I was sick, but without the fever and shakes, so who knows? But my body's taking care of it, you know? My glass of orange juice, brushing my teeth with hydrogen peroxide, you know, everything inside of me is working well. And on XVW.
Stay away from Charlie. He's a super spreader, but he's got nice white teeth.
Well, Charlie, most people who hang on this frequency have a lack of taste. That doesn't mean they have COVID.
Oh, that's true. That's true. Now, I don't have nice white teeth. I have teeth that are falling out, broken off, rotted away. Because I already had one broken tooth when this COVID thing started, and I've since broken another one right at the gum line. And I fear dentists at this point, because I might go in there and they might make me sick.
And for the record, I love Greta Thunberg. I wish she could be cloned. Everyone should have one of her.
How dare you?
They should make little Greta Thunberg, like, air fresheners that you can hang from the rear view mirror.
And I said, and good evening, Clark.
Yeah, and all of that.
Here's Kevin asking for WZHA. Kevin in.
Okay, Kevin. Good to work you on the radio here. And hello to Clark, if that was Clark out there.
Yupper.
Hello, Clark. KM4XG.
Hey there.
Are you remote from the bathtub?
I'm trying to work on something here, so keep me entertained.
I don't know if you had one of those Steve lash-ups that lets you go mobile within the hole.
Sounds like he's got his head inside of Daryl's radio.
I'm actually trying to repair a radio. Forge forth and carry on.
Hey, a little bird told me you got an airplane engine.
Okay, yep.
He's never going to get that thing fixed. Everybody's going to keep asking questions.
He's a dedicated man.
Tube radio, high voltage, so we keep distracting you.
And one BCG.
Sounds like
WB2HJK.
That's the new big sound from the BCG transmitter.
Yo, sound echoey.
I got pretty bad receivers, so let me not interrupt anybody. Good evening, Clark, and everybody else. Guys, hope everybody's doing well. Stay well, and I'll stand by in case anybody can hear me. WB2HJK. George and Queens. Oh, what's left of it?
Hey, George.
Hey,
hello, Queen.
Good evening, Queen George.
Good evening.
Queen George.
Sounds like a very special episode of Downton Abbey. Hey, George, good evening.
George is the king of Queens.
I've got, I missed a question, I think.
Yeah, the question is, do you think the rain will hurt the rhubarb?
I got so much static here, I can't make out anything. You can try repeating it, but I don't think anybody's going to come out of that static level.
All right, let's all switch to FM.
No static at all.
That's a great tune.
Yeah, Steely Dan was originally going to call that No QRN at all.
They must have a ham radio in the operator in the band.
Oh yeah, have you heard what is that song they do? What is that, YYZ?
Hello there.
Hello there. What's up there? Hello to Brain.
And one GTU.
Wow, that looks cool on my audio scope.
Oh, I want to use my sync detector in the worst way, but you guys won't let me. See, I should stick Greta Thunberg on you guys that won't get on frequency.
How dare you?
Exactly.
I spout nonsense all day long. How come I can't be an international celebrity?
You can always be a legend in your own mind.
Well, ham radio is filled with those guys. Present company excluded, of course.
So what's Clark working on over there?
An echo chamber.
He's installing his Echo Master Plus microphone.
Somebody told him his audio sounded flat, so he got to work.
What the hell's doing that now? Got the squealies again.
Well, it's not coming over the air.
It's probably out of your passband.
I have to walk away for a minute. KM4XG.
Carry on, my wayward son.
Hello.
You have a very Merry Christmas.
It was Christmas?
Oh, yeah. Now I opened up my passband. It's there.
Christmas Christmas went by just like every other day last week. What didn't help was the fact that it fell on a Saturday, a day that's already a day that's a weekend. So there was no long weekend. It was just Saturday. And New Year's is going to come and go the same way. It's going to be the last day of this week, and then it's going to be the first day of next week, and it will be going just like Christmas. That's right around the corner. Unfortunately, the time that's going to go by the fast, spring will gradually go by as the weather clears up, and when it gets nice out, time will fly. It will feel like time travelers. Boom, it'll be winter again.
Wayne, what's causing that 6,000 hertz feedback?
I'm getting into something. Hold on. It's my self-powered speakers. Listen to that.
Wait, what?
Huh? Yeah, I cranked the input going up on there. Okay, wow. Yeah, it's just the microphone picking up the speakers, and it's the speakers themselves, because I can pot all the channels down. I could turn everything off, and it's still well, I mean, obviously I turn the speakers off, it doesn't squeal, but there's amplified speakers, the little desk ones. They're tannoys, and I even got the balanced audio going into them, into the XLR. I got ferrites, but I'll have to get some big ferrite cores and wrap the power cords and stuff in there. I think it's getting into the power.
On the pan adapter, it looks like you've built a wall around your signal.
I do. It keeps all the sidebanders away. You know? Build that wall.
Yeah, you could make like a sideband scrubber with, frequency response, say like, I don't know, 7 to 10 kilocycles sweeping back and forth on either sideband. And that could be busy, like working away, and you can still be, having a conversation within the audio pass band, but you'll have those two sideband scrubbers, busy little bees on your sidebands. Yes, let's build that.
Even better, you could just warble it a little bit in modulation and send like frequency IDs and call signs and all that kind of stuff. You could do like an RDS.
Oh, you want to be legal. Okay.
It would still be effective.
Yeah, I think it would. Yeah. That's acoustic. What we're hearing, that's actually feedback that you're hearing too.
Yeah, it's coming through the speakers. Because if I put a piece of paper over the tweeters, it would stop doing it. But okay, now it's just the flex radio, the fan. But I know how I could get rid of it. Hold on. Let me see. Do this. This will annoy everybody. There. I just put the expander on.
The downward expander?
Yeah, and the symmetrics. Plug this in and see how it goes. Where's my adapter? Yeah, I was telling Perry I redid the link coupled tuner because then I took a good look at it. I was having all kinds of problems. And I took a good look at it. I'm like, that's not right. And the funny thing is, I had been using that link coupled tuner at my other house for well over like 13, 14 years and never had an issue with it. I put it down here, disconnected my other one, and I'm like, why is this one not working? It always worked fine at my house. And I looked at it and realized it just wasn't wired correctly.
In terms of the loops not symmetrical enough?
Or did you have the Gazinta and the Gazola?
No, it worked. It would let me tune and stuff like that, but it was just strange because I would get all kinds of RF and it was tuning funky, and I took a good look at it. And the input link, you got the 5 windings that wrap around the big coil, and one was just kind of floating. Nothing was connected to it, just sitting there floating. I'm going, how did this ever work? Your coax cable connected, and then I'm looking at the way the capacitor was, the 5 or 4 gang capacitor was wired. I'm like, this is just messy. And I took the thing off the shelf and sat down on the floor and just started pulling everything apart and used a short piece of coax to feed to the input link, and I actually terminated the other side to the ground where it's supposed to be, and it tunes differently, but it tunes much nicer. And I noticed my field strength meter isn't as bad as it was. So I get a little bit of RF. Obviously I'm getting into the speakers, but overall it seems to be doing better.
Yeah, that's good. It's always great to figure something out and make an improvement. The mystery behind the balanced tuner, for me, I watched a video a long time ago. So a guy built a link coupled balanced, link coupled tuner, and he went to great lengths to make sure that each side of the output side, he was using an oscilloscope and checking the phase coming out of either side to make sure that they were perfectly in sync with each other. And I thought, this is great. And then later on, thinking about it, it's like, how does that really even matter unless you continue to use a perfectly balanced feed line and feed a perfectly balanced antenna over perfect ground? Why would you care so much about one side being slightly, out of phase with the other side? Because there's going to be so many other variables within the system? I don't know. That's one of these questions that, like, before I'm dead, I'd love somebody to answer that for me. But I don't expect anything from this crowd, by the way, but just kidding. I'm putting it out there. W2PHL.
Well, you're right. Theoretically, if you're doing it on paper, you would want to have it perfect, but the world's not perfect, and as much as you try to cut that antenna to the exact same length on each side, and then you put it up with the trees, and there's sticks and twigs from the branches closer on one side, and nothing's perfect, so you do the best that you can, and it works, and you get out. That's all it is.
It really gets out of balance when all the birds land on one side of it and one XGW.
Exactly. That's exactly it.
Well, I guess you just check this tune for Lois Viswar, and you're good to go.
I got that problem solved. I just threw a bunch of wire in the air wherever it landed. I did not care, and I came in with the radio to it, and voila, no tuna.
Charlie, you break a lot of rules, and you get away with it. So there's something very special going on there at your house. Got some kind of, the laws of physics cease to exist at your QTH.
That's because he got naked women pulling on his coax.
When I added the extra wire to the B&W 90, I had 2 big chunks of blue wire. I tied a broken brick to each of them, threw them up over a tree limb, and tied them off to the ends of the B&W antenna. I think one's like 75 feet, and the other one's maybe 100. It don't matter.
See, you should have been on Gilligan's Island, not the professor. They would have been rescued, like, right away, like in the first season.
Yeah, I would have had one of my chipmunks swim to the mainland and get help.
First thing I would have done on Gilligan's Island is I probably would have gotten rid of Gilligan. Because he was, maybe the first time, okay, you were stupid, Gilligan, and you screwed up our getting rescued. But the second or third time after it happened, he would disappear. I'd send him over to the headhunter side of the island.
I thought you were going to say the first time you were going to do it, bang, Marianne.
That's what I thought you were going to say.
Yeah, I mean, out of all of them, yeah, she was probably the best, but never had a thing for Ginger. Then again, you can go for Mrs. Howell because she had money.
She looks hot to me at my age.
And isn't that funny, as we get older, all the people all the older women that we never even thought about, you look and go, well, she's actually quite attractive.
Oh, God, yep, that's happened to me.
Yeah, the problem is when we look in the mirror, we see Brad Pitt looking back at us. Women don't do that.
So it seems like the band's holding up a bit tonight.
Last time somebody said that, it dropped dead.
Yeah, we usually have to light our lighters and hold them above our heads to get the band to stick around a little longer.
Exactly. Everyone starts stomping on the floor.
And one XZW.
And one GTU.
W2PHL.
WZAJ, yay, yay.
I guess Clark fell into that bucket he was talking out of.
I heard our pickleball spectator chime in.
That's you, Charlie. And now that I've spoken after 10 minutes and won BCG, see what you forced?
You got rid of the echo. We were all looking forward to that.
What are you working on over there, Clark?
A aircraft band HT. It's got a navigational circuit card in it for determining bearings to nav aids, and I'm trying to get that to work.
Yeah, you might want that to work.
Well, whenever I'm working on something with bearings, I add a little oil.
Didn't. That's got to add a whole new level of, like, stress to the quality of your workmanship. Because it's like one thing, like when you're sitting in the basement and you're talking on the radio and you get feedback in your speakers, and it's another thing when you're like flying around in the atmosphere and you can't get your bearings because the solder joint came loose and the HT you were just fixing.
Yeah, it does certainly lift things to a new level of no, you can't just throw it together.
Yeah, that's just like when they say that flying is so much safer than driving, that if my Volkswagen Beetle stalls in the middle of the expressway, you know, that's a little different than if my Titan Cub just cuts out at 10,000 feet.
Yeah, but you could always glide down.
Well, how you doing there, Chet? N1GIC, WA1QIS.
Defibrillator is simulated into the proper rhythm so that the valves go back in sync with that motion and just do the things that protect everything so that what's going on, you know, and so on and so forth. Sophisticated little package thing. And they say 4 to 7 years. It all depends on how many it has during that time. So yes, it really is price anything. But pretty reliable just in case the battery. Technology. N1GIC. So, Steve, how you doing?
Yeah, things are good here. I don't want to make too much of an old buzzard. Yeah, very good. Yeah, I know, it's amazing, the technology. I mean, they put something like that inside your body and hook it up to your heart, and it automatically defibrillates and stimulates things into the right rhythm and all that stuff. It's pretty good stuff. You know, 20 years ago, you had a condition like that, and you'd have to suffer with it and probably shorten lifespan. So, yep, no, it's good. So what'd you think? So Chet came over this afternoon. I was playing pickleball, and he watched the game for about 15 minutes. What do you think, Chet? You want to try it?
I've got to do some final preparations for demonstrations. You do ride your bike every night, practically. I know you have a rather rigorous schedule with it. So, you know, there's that kind of prepare you for the rigors. Now, you didn't look totally rigorous, you know, like a game of hockey or a game of basketball. But it can be, you know, somewhat strenuous. In a way. And I guess you could use your talent that way. You know, people were, some of the more experienced people were really aiming their talents pretty well. And the scoring is something. When they say 2 to 3 second serve, so 2 CC2, or 2CC1. It's still a bit confusing, but I think I might, if I really sat down and thought about all that, because one was remembering the serve the server has made. Is that what it is, Steve? And then after so many serves, it goes to the next person on the same team, as long as they keep getting points. Once you lose your point, then they start getting, then they swap ends or something. I'm not sure. I got a little bit of it. So I was talking to one of the young ladies that was sitting down next to me, and one GIC. Yeah, that's right, you were. Anyway, I don't want to, I'll talk to you about it sometime. Yeah, it's pretty simple. It's, you know, you only score a point when you're serving, and you get 2 serves. You get 2, you know, there's 2 people on each team in doubles, and each one gets to serve. And then when you know, if you lose the point twice, then the serve goes to the other team, and they get 2. So they call it out. They say, so if the score is 3-2, let's say you have 3, they have 2. So you go 3-2, and then whatever server number it is, either server 1, so they'll say 3-2-1, or, you know, 4-5-1. If you had 4 and they had 5, you'd say 4-5-1. If you're server 1, 4-5-2, server 2. It's actually not bad. Anyway, very good. Yeah, it was good seeing you today. Anyway, I don't want to make any old buzzard transmissions about this, but we usually don't have spectators coming in to watch. You know, we have other players watching, but not outside people. Anyway, WA1QIX.
Well, hey kids, let's go tonight and watch the pickleball match.
Yes, well, first, you know, I heard, make sure I'm not doubling. Blaine was talking about, you know, these older women start looking pretty good. There's a couple of the women, you know, who play pickleball in this particular group who are extremely attractive. They're slender and tall, and, you know, in very good condition, you know, and they're in their mid to late 60s. And they look darn good, there's no doubt about it.
This thread is useless without pictures.
One side of one side of the door. Yep, yeah, she's quite a character and a good player too.
They're there for the pickle.
Evening, Steve.
They did it all for the pickle.
Evening, Charlie. Coming in well up here.
Well, it's always good when the radio works.
Hi, Bob.
Hey, Bob, how you doing? Up W2PHM.
turkey soup that's going to go in just a little bit, man. Started cooking last night. Finish it off today.
Nothing wrong with leftovers.
Yeah, the problem is that I left the wife at the pharmacy. And she first put it on at number 2. And middle burner, and it should have been on 5. Like bring it to a boil, and then put it on 2. And yeah, we didn't turn it on before.
Well, my wife Jen knocked it out of the park tonight. She got some pizza dough from Arthur Avenue. She made the stromboli pizza, and for appetizers, she got a burrata. I had burrata on slices of French bread with a little garlic aioli and some balsamic glaze on top of that. That was the appetizer. Oh man, I'm getting hungry again.
Hey, you know, we've been getting the pizza dough up at Chico's. It's a Westchester-based outfit. We've been getting it, and I've been trying to like stretch it out and do stuff, but the pizza dough in the bag like it is, now you have to divide it in like 4s, and I haven't been able to like roll it out. I haven't been able to do it like that, but I've been rolling it out. You put salt on it, some mozzarella on it. And I have it's called a baking steel. It's a 3/8-inch steel that you stick in the oven and you have it 550. And you throw pizza on that baking steel, and it comes out like 4.5 minutes later, and it's over. One of the things we finally sort of mastered the pizza.
Man, good stuff. Yeah. Well, I'll tell you, when she was like, I'm gonna make pizza, I'm like, what? We've got a pizzeria literally on every block in this neighborhood. There's got to be 5 or 6. You could hold your breath and run between the pizzerias, and they're all good. So what's the point of making homemade pizza or stromboli or any of that? And she's like, just wait, let's see. And she's got all the techniques like you're talking about there, Bonnie. She got the special, the special pan or whatever it is to put the pizza in. And, oh, man, it's absolutely awesome. So, yeah, good stuff.
Well, I started this here when I put that patio on that the patio is large. Then I'm going to have all commercial stainless tables. I put a pizza in the oven, I put a griddle, I put a grill, nail, and it's all run on propane. And the pizza oven, that's where I got the baking steel from. You throw that thing in there, run on propane, it heats from the top and the bottom. It's a lot of these things just heat from the top. That's why I have the baking steel, so it'll be even. And we figured it out. Consistency came out to chop this whatever size the pizza dough is in the bag I put in. We chopped that in 4, and I rolled it out with a pin. And a lot of guys told me, I get it. You have flour, you're supposed to rub it out by hand and stuff. And you know what? I got tired of doing it, and it wasn't working. It kept coming back. Instead of like rolling it out, man, was the only way to fly. And I had like 6 pizza peels too, because it's like you put the dough on it, and the dough is a little bit wet. As much freaking flour as you put on it, the dough is stubby and wet, and it sticks to the thing. And anyway,
figured it out that the next step is definitely Stromboli.
W2PHO, yeah. Well, Stromboli, you can throw anything in there and call it Stromboli. All good. I did notice that the pizza dough is important, so it's good that you've got a place that makes good pizza dough, because, you know, we've tried it from different places. Stu Leonard's not so bad. And there's another supermarket right here that they have their own brand, and it's not that great. But the one that comes from Arthur Avenue, they got it. That stuff is amazing. So, all good. That's cool. Another pizza connoisseur on the frequency. That's great. W2PHO.
This is KC1 Ranch.
Is there another station in there?
Yeah,
I just got jumping off the elevator. KC1 Ranch, not connected.
I think you're on sideband. I'm hearing you a little bit with my sync detector. We're operating AM. Switch to AM now. It's W2PHO.
This is Jeff with
I don't know, does anybody else can pick that station up? I'm dealing with a lot of noise here.
Yeah, I heard him fine.
Hey, go ahead, Steve.
He's got to drop his carrier down like 40 dB. You're on right here, man. You just need to drop your carrier down a little bit. Maybe go like 20 watts with just carrier.
He sounds fine here.
Yeah, I don't see what you mean, but, you know, here's less power. You know, here's less power.
You know, it was better before, whatever you did. Now you don't have enough modulation.
It was like 40 dB over his audio, but anyway.
Am I in the right digits? I'm on 3.873, and I'm using AM, and I don't usually use AM. I'm using an Icon 705 with a 100-watt amp, so it's probably at 100 watts right now.
Yep, I'm hearing you fine now, no problem.
Man, you're dialed into the right frequency.
Yeah, I hear you fine now, no problem. Go ahead.
Okay, no, I was just saying hello. How do I make any of those changes? You know, you mentioned adjust your carrier and all that. Is that something that you do on AM?
The only change, let me make sure I'm not doubling.
I just got a 705 last week for the reason of making microphones for it, because I've not been able to sync up with people that are users of my stuff, and I just got a 705, so I'm going to be playing around with that tomorrow. So maybe stick around tomorrow, and we'll have new news on that, but it's got to be some funky new feature.
Yeah, I had this radio for some time, and you know, I had no clue what a third of this stuff is. Well, yeah, there's just a lot in the menu, you know. And it's not even documented, you know, in the basic manual or the advanced manual. Like half the stuff isn't even in there. You know, like today I just googled whatever RIT is and Delta TS, and you know, I don't even know what this button FFT is, but you know, there's a lot of stuff in this radio.
Yeah, Bob, what problem are you having in copying him? It's perfect here.
His carrier was like it was greater than 40 dB over sidebands. I'm okay with it now.
Yeah, he definitely needed more audio, so it's better now. Yes, I agree with that.
That's what happened.
Hey, stop doubling. Yeah, you needed more audio, but you're good now.
Well, it's relative. Either he decreases carrier or he increases audio, and it's a question of how many watts, what the headroom watts is.
I mean, earlier I was doing single sideband, and then I had switched. You know, now I'm an AM. Where are you guys? Are you in the Northeast?
Yep, we're all here in the Northeast. Where are you located?
Connecticut, in the middle of the city.
And what town?
East Hartford.
Oh, sure, we know where that is. Good old East Hartford, Connecticut. What's your name?
My name's Jeff. KC1FIH.
Yeah, okay, Jeff. This is Steve up here, WA1 Queen Item X-Ray. I'm in New Hampshire, central New Hampshire, and there's a bunch of other guys on frequency, so I'm not going to hog it. And, yeah, welcome to AM there, Jeff. You know, over time, you might want to make some adjustments and really fine-tune it so you have the correct audio to carry your balance. I mean, we can hear you, but, you know, there's so much static on the band tonight, it probably wouldn't be fruitful to try to make too many adjustments with all the noise that's on there. Anyway, somebody else grab it. WA1QIX.
Hearing you just fine in Rhode Island there, Jeff. The way it sits right now on a day like today, I wouldn't touch a thing because you're actually coming in above my noise.
Yeah, we have major static crashes here. My call is Whiskey 2 Echo November Yankee B2 ENY. My name is Bob, Bravo Oscar Bravo Bob. Located about an hour north of New York City by West Point Military Academy. And I'm copying you great now. No trouble, but yeah, like Charlie's saying, I wouldn't touch a thing, man, because conditions are bad. And yeah, I got static crashes like summertime kind of weird stuff. And anyway, I got turkey soup upstairs. My wife just came down and bugged me about it, so I get it there. And anyway, I'll catch you Blue Cats later on. This is W2ELI.
7-3 Bob, you're going to like that 705. It's a super high fidelity receiver for AM. You're going to be shocked how good that thing sounds. I've got mine playing into a little Bose speaker. It's absolutely phenomenal. Anyway, see you later. W2 Facebook.
You know what? If it's that good, I'm going to connect it to one of my Grundy amplified speakers. I think it's like a single 4x5 or something like that. If it's that good, that's how I'm going to run with it here. 72
Out of the box, if you bump the bass control up to like +4 or +5, it'll have frequency response down to about 70 or 80 hertz. And I added a coupling cap to the output of the audio amplifier inside the radio. Wasn't that big of a mod, really. It's pretty easy. And now it's like, without even putting the bass boost on it, it goes down to like 30, 20 hertz, something like that. And it's pretty flat, and it sounds amazing. Anyway, see you later.
All right, see you later, brother. Yeah, the two hottest radios lately have been the 705 and the 7300. The 7300 was automatic for me because my connector was the same as all the other ones. But the 705 has got like all that weirdness with the push support and the mic being on the same pin. And anyway, that's why I bought the radio, because I got to figure it out. You know, I owe one guy a new microphone. Anyway, it is what it is. The good news is I don't have to. I'm not trying to get to my sailboat today because it's so freaking damp and cold out. And anyway, I ran that mountain off. No buzz at Christmas. 7-3 all. I'll get you Cool Cats later on. This is W2ENY.
mixing them up. That's a little confusing for me for some reason, but thanks for checking in, Chuck, and hope you'll check back in later on. All righty, let me see here. Out to Texas. This is our second Texas station, K5IAM, or IM. What a great call. This is WE4AM. I was going to ask you, Brad. I got you down with my list here, Brad. Well, appreciate you stopping by, and tell the others out there, because we love AM, and it sounds like they do out in Texas, too. So, and I know we do around here in the southeast and on the west coast, or I don't know why I keep saying west coast, the Gulf Coast. I'll get it right. Them guys going to knock me in the head. The Gulf Coast guys in Florida, and we're up in Georgia, and they're just, everybody's spread out all over, and Alabama, and Louisiana, Indiana, and Texas, and man, we just love it like everybody else, and appreciate you stopping by, and look forward to talking with you again on Monday night, and Tuesday night, and Thursday night. Alrighty, I've about got a whole page here, that's close to 30, I'm guessing my page is about full, but I'm going to see if we got some more to fill up this page. Hopefully we can get some more to check in. Anyone else wishing to get in on the AM net this evening on the WE4AM net, please come at this time. WA4LR. Alrighty, well I got you on the list. It's over to you. Appreciate you stopping by. WA4LLR. This is WE4AM.
Okay, WE4AM. This is WA4LR. Name's Dave, located in Burnsville, North Carolina. Actually, this is the first time I've been on with you guys. Just have to get across the Burgess blasting me and put the Blue Ridge against the wind. I'm just running barefoot and like it down.
And I thought I was in control of that for a while. It was going good for about a week. I was getting up like a regular person and sleeping at night. It was nice. So I slipped a little bit because yesterday I had some quality time with my delicious wife because everyone was gone. It was just the two of us here in the house, and she knocked me out. I slept till about 4 o'clock in the afternoon. So now I'm all screwed up again.
So how's that go, Jim? It takes you all night long to do what you used to do all night long?
I'm trying to count how many years it's been since I could go all night long, Charlie. I don't know if I can count that high.
Yeah, I sleep every night from 8 to 2. night. I'm getting tired now. I'll be going upstairs momentarily, and yeah, the head will hit the pillow around 8 o'clock, and I'll be wide awake to about 2 o'clock in the morning. So there you go. I think I'll use that as a reason to say 7-3. I haven't had my bedtime snack yet.
What was the other station with the Japan in it over?
I don't have a Japan. Kilo Charlie 9 Queen Japan Echo. I guess I do have a Japan. I don't know what I'm doing.
You got me choked up there. Sorry about that. Okay, I got Kilo Charlie 9 Queen Japan. What was the last number? Oh my goodness. Echo.
I don't know. I'm probably going to hit the sack here as soon as I'm able. All right, 73. I'll catch you later. N1XCW, KM4XG.
All right, Jim. Yeah, the band is getting flaky. 7-3. 7-3, Steve. Everybody else that's out there that's still around. N1XW going upstairs.
Make one more call here. I know Larry and them probably want to get out of here, but I don't leave nobody out, and that's the way I do it, and that's the way it is. So.
right, folks.
Anyone wishing to be the tail gunner on the Whiskey Eagle AM net, please come now. What's the Alpha Bravo station over? Okay, Kilo 5, Kilo Alpha Bravo. Okay, anyone else out there wishing to check in, please come now. WE4AM.
King Mike 4, X-Ray Golf.
I heard something on there was a kilo, and that was it. Any relays?
Kilowatt Mexico 4, X-Ray Germany.
Kilowatt Mexico 4, X-Ray Juliet. Is that correct?
X-Ray Germany.
X-Ray Germany. Okay, I got you on that. All right, well, let's go pick up K5 KAB. K5 KAB, it's over to you, sir, for your comments. This is Whiskey Echo 4 Alpha Mike, the Eagle Nest. Over to you. appreciate you checking in from Dallas, Texas out there. Stop by any time. We don't turn anybody away. If they're on AM, we'll pick them up and take them. If you have to stay here all night, and we love it just the same. And I appreciate you checking in, and hope you check you back in at another time. That was K5KAB out in Dallas, Texas. Alrighty, KM4XG, X-Ray Germany. It's over to you, sir. This is WE4AM and the Eagle AM Monday Night Net.
Yeah, WE4VM and the Monday Night Net. Good evening from King Mike 4, X-Ray Germany in Herndon, Virginia. My name is Jim, and won't keep it. Just heard you looking for check-ins, checking out a new rig here, and just trying to learn the ropes with it. And everything sounds great on it, and it's a pleasure to hear you down here in Virginia. So back to you, sir. WE4 Victor Mike, I think it was. King Mike 4, X-Ray Germany, Herndon, Virginia.
Alrighty, I got you KM4 X-Ray Germany in Virginia. Appreciate you stopping by and getting on the list this evening. I tell you what, I'll tell you, this is probably the longest list I've ever had. I've filled up the whole page. And I'll tell you what, I love it. I love AM, and I love everybody that checks in. And we got a good group of people out here. And appreciate all you guys out there that's called and checked in. And I'm going to make one more call here. I know I keep saying that, but I'll take them till the taking's gone. Anybody else wishing to check in to the Whiskey Eagle 4 AM Net at this time, please come back. WE4 AM in Villa Rica, Georgia.
There's a true Southern Baptist coming in and sitting on the back pew. W4G's in.
Alrighty, and I'm out of the room. Hey, Brandon, good to hear you, man. I tell you what, I've never filled up the whole page on here. And what a signal. My goodness, out of Holt, North Carolina. And you're on the bottom, I mean a whole page here, buddy. It's over to you, Brandon, Mike. I don't know what rig you're on, but it's got some great audio. W4GUZ, WE4AM.
Okay, Kevin. You sound much better than last week. Hope it was just a head cold. And Jim up there in Virginia, you're sounding really good on your new rig. I guess we'll have to chat about that maybe. I'm sure this has been some of the topic of discussion, but man, what a warm, unseasonably warm Christmas we had. We actually grilled and ate from the back porch at Mom's house Christmas Day. Almost 70 degrees here at 3,400 feet. On the 20V2 and cheating and listening on the Flex tonight. So, Kevin, I'm not sure if you're on Andy's rig, but if you are, you have it dialed in. I apologize, but I didn't. I've been home about 10 minutes, so that should tell the story. Last name's Young, and I'm used to being at the very bottom of the end of the line. So we'll do it again next week, hopefully. WE4AM, W4GUZ.
All right, Brandon. Now I would be on Andy's rig, and but relays, I miss people on the SX115 behind key. Sometimes I'll miss 2 or 3. I got to resolve that problem because the 41000 oscillator out there is a beast of a transmitter, but I'm on the Flex 5000 tonight and the 3CX 3000 amp. So anyway, that's the rig I'm on tonight. I think the conditions are going to be bad, but they're actually really good, and I think this is the longest list I've ever had. Like I said, I'm all the way to the very 50 on the bottom, But your rig sounds good, and it's it is on that audio mixing. It's always big signal 2 out of Hawk, North Carolina. Alrighty, well, I can move over a little bit. I'm at the bottom of the page, but I'm going to make one more, as Sam said. This will be it. I'm going to make the Alpha and Omega call. If you want to get on the WE4AM list, this is the Alpha Omega call. Come down, WE4AM.
Kilowatt 8 X-ray Tango, K8XT.
Kilo 4, Romeo Foxtrot.